IQ is through the roof.
Yeah.
We don't need CC. Let me rock out.
Basketball
I've
IQ
been
is through the roof.
saying that. I ain't trying to start no riffraff, but that zero clean.
So let me hold it down.
Nah, she cold. And when CC's back healthy, that's the best backcourt in the W.
See, he
Best
always
backcourt in the W.
he be trying to push this CC narrative. She good, but she not that good.
I
She
said that
good.
when she's healthy,
DJ
they're the best
Bayless.
backcourt in the W. That's what
That's Bayless right there.
First of all, when I was saying last year, the best thing we could have did was get Kelsey Mitchell back. Y'all wasn't even tapped in enough. So so we've been locked in. Don't even worry about them.
I said she was the best player on the team.
Oh man,
He was out of pocket, but respect to
How's
Kelsey.
that out of bed?
Best on the team.
Bro, she the best on the team.
She not playing. CC not playing. They ain't missing a beat, bro. They
Bro.
actually look a little better.
Cause
Yeah,
they ain't shooting no wild ass threes.
She got
from
the
half
ball,
court.
bro. It look real fluent out there.
Nah, she's cold.
I'm starting a Caitlin Clark hate train.
We ain't doing that.
What happens when a former NBA All-Star looks straight into a camera and declares he's starting a hate train against the biggest name in basketball? And that shocking statement from Jeff Teague has the entire sports world buzzing. But is this just a harsh but legitimate basketball opinion? Or is it a calculated, desperate play for clicks that exposes a much bigger, more cynical game? And we're going to break down the whole controversy, the Fury backlash, and what the numbers actually say about Teague's wild claims, because this isn't just about one podcast clip, it's about a pattern. And we're going to get into the article as well on Yahoo Sports. So let's set the stage. On his Club 520 podcast, while Caitlin Clark was sidelined with an injury during a tough sophomore season, as we know, Jeff Teague and his brother decided to add fuel to the fire while watching the Indiana Fever pull off a win without Clark. His brother Marcus said, "We don't need Caitlin Clark. They actually look a little better." But Jeff didn't just agree. He cranked it up to a whole new level. He stared into the camera and said the words now echoing across every sports show in the country: "I'm starting the Caitlin Clark hate train." And he didn't stop there, adding she's good, but she's not that good, and claimed her teammate Kelsey Mitchell was actually the best player in the Fever. Now, this wasn't just some random slip up. Teague has been taking little digs at Clark for a while, calling her a one-trick pony and claiming the league had figured her out. He specifically targeted her game, saying she can't go left, she only shoots step backs going left, and she drives going right. He was building a narrative piece by piece, and the timing here is everything. He made these grand statements while Clark was hurt and still is hurt, unable to answer back on the court, and it felt like a calculated shot, timed for a maximum impact when his target was down, and the sports world didn't just notice, it absolutely erupted. Because the backlash was instant and intense. Fans, analysts, and former players jumped on social media to call Teague out, because WNBA analyst Robin Lundberg didn't mince words on X post, basically saying that Jeff Teague literally just said Caitlin Clark isn't that good on a podcast, saying the Fever are better without her. And this after he called her a one-trick pony. Oh, well, he's wrong, and move on. And it was a flat-out rejection of Teague's entire point when it came to Robin Lundberg Twitter's post on X, formerly known as Twitter. And fans were even tougher because the comment section was flooded, while many pointed out the irony of a solid but not superstar player like Teague passing judgment on a talent like Clark. Because one user on X nailed the sentiment, calling Teague's comments engagement bait, and adding, "Using her name is how a washed up former mid-level gets people to remember who he is." And I gotta agree. And that really gets to the heart of it, because if you look at it, it's the uncomfortable truth behind all the noise. And let's be real, in today's media world, Caitlin Clark's name is currency. Any headline, podcast, or video with her name on it is practically guaranteed to get views and drive revenue. And when a player this big is injured and there's no new game to talk about, the content machine doesn't just stop. It pivots from analysis to drama. Controversy sells, and right now, no controversy sells better than questioning Caitlin Clark. And Teague and his podcast knew what they were doing. They weren't just sharing an opinion. They were feeding the outrage machine, knowing that a hate train soundbite would get way more traction than 1,000 thoughtful basketball breakdowns in a cynical game, but it's the one being played. So let's cut through the noise and do what the hot take artists won't. Let's look at the facts and let's break down Jeff Teague's two main claims. First, this idea that the Fever are better without Clark. This is easily the most ridiculous part of the argument. And it's now a matter of opinion. It's a matter of data. It's not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of data. If you really look at it. In her historic 2024 rookie season, Clark was named Rookie of the Year while averaging around 17.7 assists and 6 rebounds a game. Even during her injury-hampered 2025 season she's been having, she's still putting up impressive numbers, averaging around 16 points and nearly 8 assists per game. The average of point that I have seen Kelsey Mitchell average on a regular, maybe 18, 19 points, and Caitlin Clark is doing that with an injury. And not to take it a step further, I think her highest game so far this season, the 2025 season, I think Kelsey Mitchell had, 27 points or something like that? The highest point she had was playing against the Phoenix Mercury recently. If I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm always open to the possibility of being wrong. But the most damning evidence against Teague's claim is the team's performance. And the Fever's win-loss record is better when she's on the floor. And the team's offensive rating, how many points they score per 100 possessions, is also noticeably higher with her running the point. Her gravity alone, the way she pulls defenders toward her, creates open shots for everyone else. Saying they're better without their offensive engine isn't a bad take. It's just not based in reality. Right? So let's look at this article, because he's saying they ain't shooting no wild 8 threes from half court. Jeff Teague claims that the Fever are a better team without Caitlin Clark. And Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark has changed the fortunes of the franchise. Indiana snapped a 7-year playoff drought during CC's rookie season in 2024, posted its first 50-50 win season since 2016. Despite the former Atlanta Hawks All-Star, point guard Jeff Teague isn't buying the Caitlin Fever. According to Teague, Clark is a good basketball player, but she isn't good as she is portrayed by her supporters. Right? And we already watched the clip. Clark's shooting struggles are hurting the team. Since her college days, CC has been known for her three-pointers, including her knack for taking logo threes. But while she was a career 37.7% three-point shooter at Iowa, the number is down to 32.9, well, roughly 33% in the WNBA. We'll round it. This season, Clark has mightily struggled from deep, shooting just 27.9% from three-point distance, logo or not. With 53.1% of her total shot attempts this season coming from three-point territory, Caitlin's field goal percentage is just 36.7%. And considering she takes the second most shots per game for her team at a 17.5 field goal attempts per game, her shooting woes are hurting the team. And then you have ESPN analyst Caroline Peck agrees with Teague that the Fever are more dangerous without Clark, but she did not talk about her shooting woes, but instead pointing to her 31.6% usage rate. And she said, look, I think Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play, because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hand a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they got so many weapons, and Kelsey Mitchell is playing out of her mind, said Peck. And then it says, Caitlin is a difference maker for the Fever. Despite her shooting struggles this season, Clark is scoring 16.5 points per game while averaging 8.8 assists per game, which is the second league behind Alyssa Thomas, 9.4 dimes per contest. CC also contributes 5 rebounds and 1.6 steals per game. And then there are the intangibles. The game flows differently when Clark plays, as she pushes a tempo and likes to play a fast-paced game. With elite playmaking, the Fever get a lot of easy transition buckets because of Clark. Also, while her ability to knock down the long ball, defenses pay special attention to her, making her teammates tougher to defend by simply being there. These don't show up on the stat sheet. For the record, the Fever 8-5 in the games that she played in, just 6 of 7 when she isn't available. Now, while the two records are separated by only 2 games, they still prove that Indiana is better off with Caitlin than without. And even if Teague and Peck are correct, the Fever are a dangerous team even without Caitlin Clark, then they are going to be much better with her on the court, right? So that's the article. Now, for his second claim that she's a one-trick pony who has been figured out, does Clark have tendencies? Of course, great players, every great player does. She favors her step back going left and her drive going right. But calling that a one-trick pony is a huge misunderstanding of what makes a great scorer. Michael Jordan had his fadeaway. Kareem had the skyhook. Everyone knew it was coming, but that didn't mean they couldn't stop it. Clark's one trick is one of the deadliest shots in the league, and has the league adjusted to her? Yes. Her field goal percentage dipped from about 41% as a rookie to around 38% in her second year, but that's a normal part of a superstar's journey. It's the sophomore adjustment period, made tougher by injuries that mess with a shooter's rhythm. Calling this being exposed is just dishonest, in my opinion, and it's not the end of her story. It's the start of her next chapter, the one where she adjusts back. But I want to know what y'all think. This is a huge debate with strong feelings on both sides. Head down in the comments and let me know, is Jeff Teague just offering a harsh but fair basketball critique, or is this a cynical ploy for clicks that uses Caitlin Clark names for traffic? Is it a real analysis or just a manufactured drama take? Drop your take below. And if you zoom out, you'll see what's happening to Caitlin Clark isn't new. It's a pattern we see over and over, especially with women in sports who break barriers and shatter expectations. The second there's a sign of struggle, an injury, a slump, the media ecosystem that build them up starts looking for cracks to tear them down. And when Clark is healthy and dropping 30, she's a hero. The moment she's on the sideline, the narrative shifts to her flaws, her personality, or if she's a good teammate. It's a predictable and frankly exhausting cycle. That's where I'm getting to, family. And the media machine needs conflict to keep running. When there's no action on the court, it creates drama off the court. But here's the part of the story that people like Jeff Teague seem to forget: resilience. Everything we know about Caitlin Clark, from Iowa to the pros, shows she is one of the fierce competitors, wholesome competitors out there. And she's relentless in criticism, whether it's fair or totally baseless, is just fuel for her. Every one trick pony comment, every they're better without her claim, is just another log on a fire that's already burning while hot. And this isn't the kind of thing that breaks a player like Caitlin Clark. It's the kind of thing that forges them into even something stronger. And you can bet she hears the noise, and then she'll get right back in the gym, ready to silence every single doubter, not with her words, but with her game. So where do we land on all of this? We have to recognize that criticism is just part of being in the spotlight. And we know Caitlin Clark knows that. She's very professional. She's very phenomenal at how she conducts herself. Some of it is fair and some of it's just noise. In my opinion, I feel like Jeff Teague just want clicks, and he's talking out of his peeny little brain, because he just obviously wants traction and views as a content creator, from a content creator perspective, to get people to click and be all mind boggled and shocked and be like, wow, why would you say that? And all of their emotions tugging on people's heartstrings. But in reality is, Jeff Teague know exactly what he's doing, in my opinion, right? But a huge chunk of it today is purely strategic, designed to get clicks and stir up outrage. Announcing that you're starting a hate train against an injured 23-year-old superstar falls embarrassingly into the last category. And that's not brave analysis. It's not telling hard truths. It's a sad reflection of a media culture that too often chooses provoking over actual substance. For us as fans, the best thing we could do is learn to separate the signal from the noise. Look at the real numbers, watch the games, and understand the greatness is never a straight line. Legacies aren't decided in a podcast studio. They're built on the court through thousands of hours of work when no one is watching and proven under the brightest light. So Jeff Teague will get his viral moment because he has. His podcast will get a little boost for now. He played the game and for a minute he won, but those words will fade. They'll become a footnote because the real story, the one that lasts, isn't written by the critics. The only person who gets to write Caitlin Clark's legacy is Caitlin Clark, and she's just getting started. But let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. On that note, family, peace. Catch you in the next one.